Welcome back to the show. Today's post-secondary students need to stay wired to the web on a daily basis. As Casey Pitts has found out, BCIT is providing for anyone in need of a connection.
Students on the BCIT campus know technology is necessary to do well in school. But for those who can't afford the equipment, the campus library can lend out a variety of technology to students. Librarians say there's an assortment of laptops, iPod Touches, and even iPads to borrow.
Laptops started years ago just because students were having difficulty sometimes finding a computer to work at. The iPads and the iTouches actually came out of a health sciences initiative. The nursing instructors really wanted the students to be able to have portable devices to work with and to actually take on their clinical rotations.
Health Services instructor Glinda Doyle explains how the department has used the free iPads to their advantage.
Instead of carrying heavy textbooks to the clinical sites, if they have software that we've recommended to them that's authentic and reputable, then they can use that software to access resources in the clinical and the classroom.
But the student body seems to have varying opinions on this program.
Well, I think a lot of students don't have laptops, and so they could come in handy.
If people are maybe downloading inappropriate apps, or if something breaks, how they're going to pay that back.
We always rave about being self-sustainable and trying to recycle and all that. Why not take it to technology?
So whether you need nursing information or just want to read a newspaper, there's an app for that. Casey Pitts in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
To talk more about what's new in Techland, we're joined by reporter Braden Oates. Braden, what's up?
Thanks, Matthew. Apple has come out with some interesting new apps for their products. If you look at the screen behind me, an already sleek design has been readily improved, starting with the navigation bar. Android phones have offered this way of cruising through their apps since their inception, while now the iOS 5 has finally caught up to the competition. Another new feature is the photos you'll be able to take. They can now be edited and cropped directly on your iPhone. This will eliminate the chance of nasty red eye, as well as ensuring you get the exact photo you're looking for. An exterior camera button has also been added to the phone as a new feature. And finally, Wi-Fi connection or syncing is now available to Apple. You will no longer have to hook up to a computer to sync up your favorite television shows or music. It can all be done through a wireless connection. Yes, Matt, Apple fans continue to get hooked as Apple has these new and exciting additions. There's been no official release date as of yet for the iPhone 5, but it is speculated to be out before year's end.
Thanks for that, Braden. Election campaigns are moving online. Politicians are finding tools like Twitter indispensable for getting quick messages to a lot of people. But as you'll see in this story I've prepared, Twitter goes both ways.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Running for City Council. Good morning. How are you?
Candidate for Vancouver City Council Mike Klassen is here at the Joyce Street SkyTrain station, campaigning the old-fashioned way. But he spends about as much time getting his name out online with websites like Twitter.
I think before Twitter, it might have been the battle of the quotes in the newspaper. So you would have had to wait till the next morning for the ink to dry, and then you'd see what one person say, and then you'd go get a quote, and then there was a way that things happened, but it was a lot slower.
Using social media to give political campaigns a bump isn't new, but Klassen is part of a new breed that uses the tool to engage directly with media, supporters, and opponents.
Well, I see Twitter as being a conversation. It has to be engagement, it has to be two-way. I mean, that's really what it was set up for.
And it's not just local politicians using the site. The Taliban is using Twitter to try and reach an English-speaking audience.
They have at least 2 accounts they use to broadcast their victories. They even engage in so-called flame wars or heated online debates with one of NATO's Twitter accounts. Social media consultant AJ Carity isn't surprised to see the Taliban on Twitter.
Sure, I mean, the Taliban would definitely be using that to get messages out and keep their community together. A hammer can be used to build a house, a hammer can be used to do terrible things. I mean, I think it's the people behind it.
Anyone who wants to broadcast a political message is turning to Twitter. But those who really know how to use it understand it's a tool to directly engage folks, even if that means you have to face your opponents head on. I'm Rafferty Baker in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
How do free drinks, prize packs, and zip lining sound to you? Well, if you're willing to tweet or check in using your phone, you might just score some great freebies. As Anita Stankia found out, the prizes might just be worth the extra effort.
If you don't already use Facebook, Twitter, and Foursquare, you might just be missing out on some amazing perks and important information.
I think over the past year that we've seen a lot of engagement. It's been great. We've been able to communicate with our fans and followers and people that have just visited or are thinking about visiting. I mean, it's just such a great platform for communicating with anyone at all.
Here at Grouse Mountain, people who become the Foursquare mayor are able to receive free ziplining, smoothies at the cafe, or entered in to win prize packs.
They do at least 3 zipline tours with us. So that'd include going across the dam a couple of times. So about 450 metres, you're about 105 metres in the air. Interacting with the guests, chatting, getting to know them, a little bit of flirting, and maybe a few safety talks. Just make sure everyone's having a good day, a good experience up here.
Just by tweeting, checking in, or liking a Facebook page, people can enjoy specials all over Vancouver while interacting with others.
It's not even just about collecting the sale. It's about just staying there and communicating and having a conversation with everyone. So it is very valuable, not only as a sale tool, but just as being a person standing out there and saying, ask me a question. What do you want to know about Grouse Mountain?
Grouse Mountain is one of the leaders in social media. Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Foursquare, if you're coming to the mountain, you might as well check in on Foursquare or update your page on Facebook. You never know, you could win a prize pack or get a free ziplining tour for the day. Anita Stankia in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
For BCIT's community calendar, I'm Connor Hammond. September 25th is World Rivers Day, and BCIT is commemorating this anniversary by hosting an event at Gishon Creek. Passers-by will get the opportunity to take in some information displays, sample some vending foods, as well as jump aboard a horse and buggy ride. The event is set to run from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Also on Sunday, Strathcona Park will be hosting an event for the celebration of Vancouver's 125th birthday. The region, which has long been known as Vancouver's oldest neighborhood, will give their guests a chance to learn about the cultural past of their city by offering a nature walk as well as a scavenger hunt. The event is set to kick off at 11 a.m. Vancouver Public Library is hosting the 17th edition of Word on the Street. Visitors who find themselves downtown Sunday will get the opportunity to meet some of the authors of their favorite books. There will be musical entertainment as well as an activity or two for the kids. For more information, contact the Vancouver Public Library at www.vpl.ca. For BCIT's Community Calendar, I'm Connor Hammond.
Coming up next on BCIT Magazine, a local conservationist has found the first salmon at Britannia Creek.
And a community festival faces federal funding cuts.